Before we start the episode today, I want to take a moment to remind everyone to keep going. Message me if you feel like giving up. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Just search Avidity Fitness and look for the green pulse logo. Also, you can email me at fitnessforeveryperson@gmail.com. If you need help right this second, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. We are all in this thing together. We all have a purpose. Trust that. Welcome to the Avidity Fitness Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on episode 6. I hope everyone is training daily and locking down their nutrition. If anyone needs help with their diet, let me know. Let's get you started on a personalized nutritional guidance plan. Step 1 is a 100% free consultation. So message me on Facebook or Instagram if you're interested. Also, check out the Avidity Fitness YouTube channel. I just released the first video in the Mobility Lab playlist. It is a yin yoga style stretching routine that you can follow along to. Smash the like button and comment on that video what you think. And please subscribe to my channel if you want to get video drop notifications. I plan on building out the Mobility Lab playlist more. With different styles of flows and stretch routines to help everyone recover, loosen up, and reduce stress. I also plan on creating cooking playlists where you can see what I've been eating and how I prepare it. And I'll probably have some training videos, and I'm just going to build out the channel for health, nutrition, and lifestyle purposes. So with that being said, it's time to get into this episode's discussion. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about a topic that is often overlooked inside the health and wellness community. The anatomy of the epidermis and how harsh chemicals can affect skincare is a topic in an area that we can all understand a little bit better. Ask yourself how many topical products you use in a typical day. Topical products being things like body creams and lotions, deodorants, soaps, shampoos and conditioners, colognes or perfumes, makeup and lip balm for you ladies, and some of you guys, I suppose. There's no judgment here. Now, ask yourself how many ingredients are in those products. A survey conducted by the Environmental Working Group says the average person uses 9 products daily which contain 126 unique ingredients. Now, this wouldn't be so concerning if the ingredients were better regulated. Many companies continue to use toxic chemicals in our products simply because they aren't banned yet, and they are way cheaper than using organic ingredients. While the European Union has banned over 1,300 chemicals, the FDA in America has only banned 8. There's a big discrepancy there, and it's a bit alarming, to me at least. Our skin absorbs 60% of what we put on it, and much of that soaks directly into our bloodstreams. Our skin is made of 3 layers: the epidermis, the dermis, and the subcutaneous fat. The amount of chemical absorbed by our skin depends on a variety of factors like skin temperature. The hotter the skin, the more that is absorbed, chemical concentration, and exposure length, which obviously the more concentrated the chemical and the longer you're exposed to it, will raise the absorption rate. And some chemicals like phthalates and fragrances can enter the bloodstream by being inhaled through our lungs. So when you go to spray, you smell good when you're primping with your perfume, or going out with the boys and you're spraying, your cologne on. You can inhale those droplets and they get soaked into your bloodstream inside your lungs. Small amounts of chemical combinations can create problems. Like sodium benzoate on its own is potentially harmless, but when it's mixed with citric acid, aka vitamin C, it creates a cancer-causing compound called benzene. Once most chemicals get into our bodies, they tend to accumulate over time. It's not like when you eat an ingredient in food that isn't good for you, like processed, let's say high fructose corn syrup. If you were to drink a soda and it makes you feel bad because it messes with your bloodstream or whatever, spikes your blood sugar levels, that eventually gets filtered out through the body and it gets wasted, and you go back to normal as long as you stop drinking that. But with these chemicals that get into the bloodstream through absorption of the epidermis, they build up. They stay in the bloodstream, and they just continue to build up the more we use it and the more we're exposed to it. It is important to our overall health and longevity to try and reduce our chemical exposure. Start by understanding some specific ingredients to look out for and avoid the most. Things like phthalates, these help products stick to the skin, and they cause endocrine disruption and can be toxic to reproduction glands. Parabens, they're used as a preservative, and they're a hormone disruptor that mimics estrogen, currently being studied for links to breast cancer. And those studies are increasing because there are a lot of experts that truly believe that these parabens are linked to breast cancer because they're in a lot of deodorants and stuff, and a lot of people are specifically looking at the application to underarms and stuff and how that's soaking into the bloodstream and going to the breast and causing abnormalities. Some more chemicals like TEA and DEA, triethanolamine and diethanolamine. They're both banned in Europe as they are known carcinogens. Triclosan and triclocarbon, they're banned by the FDA in soaps, yet they're still common in deodorants and cosmetics. They're a terrible endocrine disruptor that encourages resistance to antibiotics, and natural antibiotics at that. Not just stuff that you can get prescribed for infections and stuff, but actual natural antibiotics like garlic and other foods that help fight bad bacteria. Sulfates, they're derived from petroleum, and it's not sustainable for the environment, and it's terrible for the skin. EDTA, which is disodium and tetrasodium, they're penetration enhancers linked to brain damage in animals. And of course, I think we all know aluminum is one of the worst things that you can put on your body. It's common in deodorants and cosmetics. It blocks sweat glands and can cause neurological conditions. And I know it can seem overwhelming to look out for so many things, but it's just important that we're all aware of the potential health dangers so we can make informed decisions, because the government's not telling us these things. There's not disclaimers on your lotion bottles or your deodorant caps because they don't want you to know. They want, they're making money. The big corporations that are subsidizing different companies and different production lines, they're for profit. They're not for health. They're for their pocketbooks. So as long as we keep each other educated and we just look out for things, like nobody can be perfect. It's going to be really hard to buy all the products that you need for your skincare and healthcare and just avoid any chemical that you shouldn't be putting on your body completely. So don't worry about getting it perfect and getting the perfect products and the perfect brands. Just educate yourself a little bit. Look into, just Google the best products. If you use lotion a lot, Google the best organic lotions and read up on it. Educate yourself. Just be aware. That's the point in making this episode. This is a health and fitness podcast, and skincare is a big part of health. You don't have to be a professional cosmetic artist, makeup artist, to care about the types of things that you're putting on your body. But if you are a professional cosmetic artist or makeup artist, whatever they're called, or anybody that's dealing with these types of products that have to go on your skin or your client's skin, it's just important to understand the dangers that some of these chemicals can cause and how that's hidden. That's the big thing. like I said, they're not putting warning labels on lotion bottles that have some of these chemicals. So it's up to us to stay informed, stay educated the best we can, and just be on the lookout. So it's kind of a short episode this week. I was going to get into some probiotics this week, but the more I researched, the more I was realizing that it's going to have to be a pretty deep episode because there's a lot of science behind it. So as I was trying to break some of the papers that I was reading down, I was just thinking I should just do a whole episode in itself, devoted to probiotics. So I'll talk about them just a little bit from what I understand so far, just kind of a brief summary. For a long time, studies, have been coming out about the gut-brain axis, and I've talked about that in a previous episode, about changing the diet and how changing your diet or your current diet is affecting your mental mood. That gut-brain axis, like studies are coming out showing that there's a direct link. It's the vagus nerve. It connects from the microbiome that's in your gut, in your intestines, and that nerve runs right up your spine into the back of your brain. And studies are showing that depending on the health and the environment of your gut can affect the neurological processes in your brain. So like if you're having trouble with the fauna and the microbiome in your gut, a lot of times that's heightening anxiety in the brain, all types of different like neurological stuff and disorders or what have you, like depression and stuff like that, and loss of focus. Not only that, but achy joints because nutrients aren't getting sent to the right place. But anyway, with that being with that being understood, that the bacteria in the gut plays a major role in the functioning of the body, people have been seeking out probiotics more and more because probiotics are supposed to be supplements that promote healthy bacteria in the digestive system. And things like probiotic supplements for years have been used by hospitals and doctors, like after surgeries and stuff, or a really bad sickness when somebody was on antibiotics. Because I don't know if you guys know, but antibiotics, like not the natural ones, but the ones given by doctors, like medical antibiotics, they're terrible for your body because they kill everything. They kill all the bad bacteria, but they also kill all the good bacteria. And, like I was just talking about, that good bacteria is vital for functioning of the body, as studies are starting to show more and more and more. So antibiotics kill everything. So it was really common that when somebody was done with their antibiotic routine for whatever health issues that they had, they would supplement with some probiotics to help build the gut bacteria up, the good bacteria in the gut. And it was common knowledge that that was a productive thing to do, but there weren't a lot of sufficient studies at the time. And now more and more studies are coming out showing that those probiotic supplements, they don't last long. There's no longevity with the bacteria and the fauna that they promote. It's like it starts to build good bacteria while the supplement is in the system, but as soon as the supplement is out of the system, like within a day, all of whatever it was building up is kind of lost. It dies out. So that's what the probiotic episode is going to be about. I'm going to go deeper into the actual scientific studies of whether the probiotics work, when's the right time to use them, if you should be using them, what brands are the best to use. But for right now, my understanding is it's not necessarily bad for you to use them, but it's kind of useless. So I'll get more into that because I know it's a popular thing. People are starting to wake up to the anatomy of gut biome and the gut brain axis and the vagus nerve and how the whole system is connected. So I think it's important that we understand whether these supplements work or not, because there's a lot of people that will tell you that it does. There's a lot of companies that will tell you that it's really beneficial for your health. So I kind of want to decipher some of that and stay on top of, the leading studies and the leading science. So, I don't let that slip away. I don't want it to slip away. It's new stuff. It's like cutting edge knowledge for our generation. The generation before us didn't have scientific studies on gut bacteria and supplements and how it affects the body as a whole. So I'm going to stay on top of that and keep you guys updated. So yeah, with that being said, guys, I think that's all I got for this episode. I'll talk a little bit about what's been going on in my life, like the book that I've been reading, and the fact that there's still no gyms open. Let me talk about that actually real quick. Just in case you guys haven't found this out the hard way, contact your gym and make sure they're not still charging you if they're closed. I'm sure they are closed because I think all gyms like in the entire world right now are closed. But I am a member of a big chain gym. I'm not going to mention their name right now because they don't deserve the recognition. But I assumed that them being a big corporate, big name, big respected name in the industry, when they closed their doors down because of the pandemic, I assumed that they were going to handle all the accounts properly. Well, I assumed incorrectly because they closed their doors like the first week of March, and they've been closed since, obviously, and they still charged me my normal rate for the month of March. So when I saw in my account that the gym had taken money out from my membership, I almost blew a gasket. I was on the phone with the corporate number. I was emailing people because I think it is absolutely terrible business practice to have your services unavailable. And I know it's not necessarily their fault, but that's kind of beside the point. If your services are not available, you should not be taking the money that I'm paying for those services. So I ran into a bit of an issue with that. They're fixing it. I rattled their cages. I say rattle their cages, but really what I did is I took out a huge sledgehammer and knocked them on their head a bit because that was just ridiculous. So if you haven't yet, contact your gym and make sure they're not pulling money out because they should not be. If you can't go, you can't lift, they don't need your money. So I just want to put that out there for anybody that hasn't ran into the issue yet or hasn't really thought of it. Hopefully your gym is on top of their business practices better than the one that I'm currently attending, and they're not charging you because they know that their services are currently unavailable. But just in case, I recommend you to reach out to your gym and say, hey guys, what's up? Are you guys holding payments until I'm allowed to come back into your establishment? So yeah, I was heated. Anyway, the book that I'm on, The Omnivore's Dilemma, I'm almost done with it. And last week I told you guys that I was going to talk a little bit more about the polyphase farms, the sustainable farming that the author was talking about in the book. And I still forgot to write the farmer's name down so I could tell you guys about it. But Polyface Farms is the farm name out in Virginia. And he has a completely environmental friendly, how would you say it, farming operation. He does rotational grazing where his cows on the grass fields, like he lets them graze for a certain amount of days until the grass is down to a certain level, and he calls it the blazing growth period. So it gets down to like just above like the new root section, and then he moves the cows on to the next pasture, and then he lets all their manure and stuff recycle the nitrogen and stuff in the soil, and it will grow the grass like exponentially in the next few weeks, and it'll be like really nutritious, brand new grass that the cows love. And I forget how many pastures he has, but he kind of just moves them down along these pastures in a rotational way. Like he knows exactly when to move them and bring them back, and it keeps the grass replenished constantly. It's like just one big cycle, and he doesn't use any fertilizers. He doesn't use any petrochemicals that obviously deteriorate the nutrient content inside the grass, and the cows are eating the grass. So if they're eating nutrient void grass, then the nutrients in their body is going to be void. So then when they become food later on, it's not as dense and nutritional as it could be. So not only is this farmer making sure that his animals are as nutrient dense as possible, he's also avoiding using any synthetic materials to grow the food for the cows. It's a brilliant process, and it's a beautiful nod to nature, and it's very sustainable. It's a lot like how our ancestors used to farm and get their food. So look it up. Look up Polyface Farms. Look up that book, Omnivore's Dilemma, if you want to learn more about how we could maybe obtain our food in the future in a more sustainable way. It's it's good stuff to read about, because right now the industrial agricultural system that we have in America is extremely unsustainable in so many different ways. Not only for the shipping costs to get it all around the processes that it needs to go in America to get to its final location, but also all the synthetic chemicals used in the growing process, and um, the quality of the end product. It's absolutely terrible. It's almost fake food by the time it makes it to the plate of the average American home or any number of fast food chains. So we're a generation of people that have been growing up eating fake food, and it's really kind of scary on like all the things and problems that it could possibly lead to. So I'm really hoping that more and more people wake up to this idea of sustainable farming and learn more about it and get interested in it, because I truly believe it's going to be what we as a society need to start investing in order to save our people, save our future of humanity, really, like no joke. Yeah, so it's cool. The Omnivore's Dilemma by Michael Pollan. It's a great book. Check your gym, make sure you're not getting charged. And YouTube, Avidity Fitness, the YouTube channel. Look me up, subscribe, hit the bell so you get all the notifications for my future video drops. I'm planning on doing a grocery shopping video along with cooking. So whatever I'm shopping for that meal that evening, I'll record my process at the supermarket and how I choose the products and the ingredients that I end up choosing, and then also how I prepare whatever meal that I'm going. It's probably going to be a steak dinner. I'm a steak guy. I love steak. So yeah, it should be cool. The yoga video that's up there now, it's a yin yoga mix. It's a muscle release video. It's about 18 minutes long. It's beautiful. It's a routine that I do often. I would say that exact routine probably once to twice a week. I try to do a yoga stretch flow of some sort every other day, but that specific one is one of my favorite because it hits all of the tight areas that I struggle with. And anybody that sits down a lot for their job, like at an office, or if they drive around in a vehicle a lot, or If you've just been sitting down watching Netflix, I'm not going to get into that topic because it's not a rage day. You know, one day I'm going to do a rage episode where I just rage on lazy people that continue to make excuses and just sitting down watching stupid TV. Um, yeah, anyways, one day we'll do that and it'll be fun. But yeah, if you're sitting down, like, you got tight hips, you got tight hamstrings, you got a lot of stress on your mind, you got anxiety, you know, whatever. The flow that I got up there, that yin yoga mix, is beautiful to reduce a lot of that stuff. Slow your mind down a little bit, stretch out and elongate your hips. Deep breathing exercises. It's awesome. It'll calm you down. It'll loosen you up, and you might discover things about your body that you never knew. So check it out, please. The Avidity Fitness YouTube channel. Look me up on Facebook or Instagram, Avidity Fitness. Follow me, like the pages, message me if you want nutritional guidance help. Step one of the guidance plan is 100% free. We will discuss all your habits, your goals, all that good stuff, and I'll help get you going in the right direction. Um, yeah, Avidity Fitness, type it in. Look for the green pulse logo. Fitness for every person at gmail.com. If you're old fashioned and you want to send an email, I will reply. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for checking me out. I love you all. Train hard, even though these gyms are still charging us and we can't even get in the doors. That's okay. Body weight exercises at the house, yoga flows, power yoga flows. Put a bunch of like a sweatsuit on, some joggers, and a hoodie and a beanie. Get a little sweat in, and stay safe, stay healthy, stay educated. Stay plugged into the Avidity Fitness podcast and all my pages. Thank you guys.